Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Hope everybody has a great day. Sorry for a late video today. So decent day today. Decent day. There was a bunch of good trades in the morning. Most of our green trades were first right at the first 1 hour. We were done with it. So a lot of setups to recap, lot of setups to recap, lot of MTF Clouds setups to recap today. So we'll go through them and see how they went. So let's do a quick introduction. So all these trade recaps and all these teachings are from either from my Twitter X or my YouTube or mostly from my community trades. We use a repeatable system, the repeatable system that thousands of traders across the world use consistently to make money in the market with defined risk, small losers, big winners. We trade repeatable setups that I have been teaching for many years on Twitter, on YouTube. You can watch over 700 recaps and learn from them so that you can also trade these repeatable setups. We always have a game plan. This morning, this was our game plan with the news, plays, upgrades, downgrades, the market plays. Then we also have something called day 2, day 3 plays. Today PLTR was a nice setup on our day 2, day 3 setup. So to recap all that, we also do have the levels for coin, MSTR, crypto plays, and we do provide the levels for Apple, Microsoft, AMD, and all those tickers. They were not available today. We were on late this morning, so I didn't do those levels. But we will still, regardless, recap Apple, Boeing, some of the marketplace that were, we were trading in the community today. We'll recap those. You can watch my past videos and see how those daily levels work out. I'm usually on voice first few hours of the market open, guiding everybody through the trades, and I also share my commentary, any trades I'm taking or anything in my alerts feed. In our community, we have a bunch of stock scanners, we have option scanners, we have news bots, we have audio alerts, we have audio stock alerts. So we have a lot of those in our community. So our community is a one-stop shop for anybody who's an active trader. So anyways, let's start. That's the introduction for what we do, and we'll go through all the setups. So let's start with SPY QQQ, right? So we're going to start with SPY QQQ. So as you know, on Friday, this was the price action on Friday. We were short all day, right? And I did a recap on the Friday, how to manage, how to identify the trend. And that was a bearish trend on Friday, and that where we were short. But today it was a bullish trend. And how did we identify the bullish trend? And a lot of us made very good trades on SPY QQQ. Option trades, long setups, and also the market longs, because SPY was long and QQQ was long. So we will let's look at it. How did we do that, right? So anyways, let me show you my SPY QQQ guidance. I also guided this on Twitter as well. Let's just go to my Twitter and see what I was saying in the morning. So this morning on SPY QQQ, you see this was the cloud. This was the a daily MTF cloud, and this line was above which we would become bullish or we would become long. Same concepts that I talked about on Friday. VIX concept, 9:30 to 10 a.m., 10 a.m. trend time concept, right? So this was initial look, and this was initial look, and then SPY was bearish into 10 a.m. Could short scalp that, and then comes our 10 a.m. trend time. Then we become bullish. I'll show you the community. We become bullish right over the clouds right here. Become bullish. This confirms the breakout for us to long. And after that, we just rallied. And you can see that how we rallied right towards the 1 hour MTF clouds. So let me show you. So initially, same thing that I showed you on Twitter X, we were heavy, right? We were bearish. That's fine. Heavy to start the day, bearish, short scalps are okay. But you can see this 1, 2, 3 candles are not going lower. 1, 2, 3 candles are not going lower. We are over pre-market highs. As long as we are over pre-market highs, we know that we can get a 10 a.m. bounce. And then comes our 10 a.m. Then comes our 10 a.m. trend time, right? So that's what I talk about, 10 a.m. trend time, right? So this time I said 10 a.m. trend time. Same concept that I teach again and again, very simple concept, but you will not see a lot of people teaching that concept of 10 a.m. So anyways, right at 10 a.m. market starts to call bullish, and that's when I said should be out of all the shorts, 512 longs, need to push over pre-market highs to confirm. And I was on voice, I told everybody that you can get long on the QQQs or on the SPYs. And after that, it was just managing our trades, right? So long was moving nicely. The first target I gave on Qs was 500, SPY target I gave 588. We met our 500 target, we met our 588 target on SPY, and next target was of course 1 hour MTF Clouds. So we touched the bottom part, try to push in, and then I said that we can roll at 10:30. 10:30, I said you can roll. Let's say you made $2,000 or something on those for initial calls, and then you can roll further and you can profit of that. And even after that, even the rolls went further to give us another 100% trade there, right? So we logged all the profits at the MTF Clouds. VIX was bouncing, and then we got out, right? So VIX was bouncing. When VIX is bouncing, you have and there's some MTF resistance. That's enough push for us. Because as long as SPY is under MTF, we are not going to get anything more. So compare this to what SPY was doing on Friday, right? You can clearly see pre-market lows break down, pre-market highs break up, right? So it's so simple, to identify the trend. So hopefully a lot of you were able to use what I went through hundreds of DMs on Friday trying to teach people about this trend, and that's how we made solid profits with QQQ. We can look at some of the show you the calls. Let's look at initially. Let's see. We can look at SPY if you want. So let's look at SPY first, right? So if we are long SPY and we are trying to long right at the open, and we are you can do the 586 calls. So let's see there. And that's how the traders do. That's what everybody in my community teach, right? So those calls were like around $1 when we started to call, $1.30. Those calls pushed to $2, right? So you got 100% there. And when you get 100% right there, then you can roll into the further calls if you wish. 0 DTEs. You could roll into the, let's say at 10:30, you roll into these 587 calls, right? Which was again at $1. And then those went 100% as well. So you made $3,000 initial run, and you take $1,000, put in that rolls, and that $1,000 became another $1,000. So that's how you make exponential gains. You grow your gains. So that's example of how you trade those 0 DT options. And you don't really have to trade options. You can trade SPXL. You can look at SPXL, went from 171s all the way to 173s. That was a $2 push there. You can trade TQQQ. TQQQ push from $75 all the way to $76, right towards the MTF Clouds. So that's how you can trade leverage ETF. So all the guidance is here. Live guidance. A lot of traders really did good on a lot of these our morning trades. You see beautiful trade, and a lot of traders shorted from MTF Clouds as well. B-, that's fine. You can see how Anthony made another 100%. So it was overall a great day because we follow a system, right? We are not like an alert service just trying to feed buy here, sell here. Step by step, I guide everyone. We make money. We learn how the market moves. We have been lucky that market has given us a lot of range, and we are not just chopping. So this is a downtrend. This is an uptrend. So downtrend, uptrend. So hopefully you learned the simple concept, VIX concept, 10 a.m. concept. Hopefully you learned how we were short on Friday and how we were long. If you were just long by fluke, that's you're going to lose it. You need to understand why we were long. So that was our winning trade in the morning on SPY QQQ. Made really profitable gains. Everyone really did good. Let's go to the next one. So when SPY QQQ are strong, you can literally find the strong names in the Mag 7 and you can long them. This morning, Apple was a great example, and Apple was also an MTF long trade. You see, this is the 50 MTF, this is 20 MTF, this is 1 hour MTF, and Apple was pretty strong as well. You could trade SPY, but you can see that Apple has been pushing SPY, and Apple we saw the flow. In the morning, I saw 330 flows on MTF, on Apple. That gave a conviction to a lot of traders in the community went long on the Apple, and Apple really pushed hard. It's bullish. You just need to find a good entry closer to the 512s and trade it all day long. So that's a great example to trade something with MTF Clouds. You can see I gave 230 target. We talked about the flow right in the morning, and that was on voice. My flow alert was on voice, and that really helped everyone to go through trade Apple. Another one good example of the MTF Cloud market long today was Boeing. The Boeing turned on the MTF Cloud later in the day right at 10 a.m. You can see that 10 a.m. concept, 512 curls, and it pushing over the MTF Clouds, and there's a news flag break all day push. So great example of using the MTF Clouds for your bullish bias. So anyways, Apple was a nice flow trade, nice guidance here. Boeing, I didn't have my levels out today, but regardless, Boeing was also a great example of the 1 hour MTF Clouds. You see, MTF Clouds are nothing but 1 hour EMA clouds, and we use it on 10 minutes so that we can get better entry on 10-minute chart, and we don't have to look at the 1 hour chart. So beautiful trade on both of these. All right, so now let's go to Tesla. Tesla, I'm not going to spend too much time here. I'm just going to show you the recap that we had on Tesla that I recapped on Twitter. So let's see. And I will show you what was the game plan, right? This is very simple. So in the pre-market, you see the news plan, 336, 335, 338. The game plan was simple. Long if 335 holds. As soon as see this swiping up at 933, I told everybody we long versus 335. Once we pushed over this 340, we added a little more. Once it pushed over 344, we added a little more. My target was 348, then 350, but there was a huge seller at 350. So I told everybody scale out 348s, scale it out, and once we break 512, get out. I told everybody get out. If you want to swing, then you have to use the stops of 335s. And then we tried to curl, but we failed the curl. That was another warning to get out. We tried the curls, didn't work, so we got out, gave back a little profit on those curls, but then we didn't touch it. A lot of traders in the community shorted it into the gap. You see, the gap is actually not just this. The gap is right from here, but I'm just showing you from the Fibonacci level. You draw the Fibonacci from yesterday close to the pre-market highs, and it was a nice trade, nice move. That's a huge move, from 335s. Even if you entered 338s, that was a $10 per share move on Tesla. Really good risk reward trading with our 3450 EMA clouds that you see right here, giving us a beautiful trade and even a nice short later in the day. Big buyer, there was a big buyer at 330 that I mentioned, that there's a big buyer at 330, and that's where the Tesla bounced from that 330, and you see the MTF cloud bounce, and then Tesla kind of curled. So that was that's why I specifically mentioned that there's a 330 buyer, so you better cover your short there, because this was a big huge buyer, and that buyer gave a nice long. A lot of traders, I'm sure a lot of traders are swinging it in the community as well, but this should be the explain to you how we do it, day in, day out, repeatable system, no fluke, and no hindsight, everything before and after right in front of you. All right, let's look at next one. Next one we're going to look at is PLTR. So PLTR was our short in the community today. Let's look at our game plan. What was the game plan on PLTR? PLTR game plan was pretty straightforward. It was, let's see here, it was a day 2 setup for us. Number 1 day 2 setup in the community, 65, 66. And you know that PLTR has been running a lot, has been extended a lot. When it broke this 1 hour MTF clouds, we already know it's bearish, right? And once it broke under the 65 level I gave, it was a short right at open. The target I gave was 60. The next target I go was 58. We didn't really meet the 58 target, but we hit our 60 target. And then it bounced, of course, 10 AM bounces, that's fine. Then it gave another short in 512. So why did it give a short? Because there was MTF rejections there. So that was MTF, again, 1 hour MTF cloud that was helping with those rejections, and another short there, because it's staying under the 1 hour trend. So trend has clearly changed. The trend is clearly bearish. So that was a nice fade in the community as well, and very proud of this one. A lot of traders in the community nailed that. Let's go to the next one. Next one, I want to talk about AFRM. AFRM was a great guidance in the community by RGV. I look at the plan what we had, and you can see that RGV guided very nicely from the morning on AFRM. Let's see. Let's look here. Let's check it out. So you can see that, right? So you can see that RGV, he was alerting the community. He added that 558.42, the flag break 61, 62, and he went all the way towards that price of 62, and traded it really nicely. And let's see what was our plan. So plan on AFRM was again AFRM right here, neutral bias, short under the clouds, but it never went under the clouds, so it held longs. That's why you show RGB. That was all his guidance. I personally did not guide too much on it. There's so much going on, but you can see that we are breaking yesterday highs. That's always a long. Held the clouds, flag, continues to push 3450 bounce, repeatable setup, 3450 bounce right here. So that was a really beautiful guidance in the community on AFRM. All right, let's look at SMCI. So SMCI was long for us today since morning. Let's see what was happening on SMCI. So if you look at SMCI, the plan was long if MTF Clouds hold. That was the pre-market plan. And SMCI was, it held the MTF Cloud in the morning. And, and that said, I said it triggered long versus risk is 20. Never broke under 20, reclaimed clouds again, rode all day. This crazy flush stopped a lot of us out, but I did say that if you have used, you can still use the 20 risk. I closed it, but then there was a news after hours, and the news bot alerted, added again, and got a nice little run and squeeze on SMCI. We'll see how it goes tomorrow, but I just want to show you why SMC was long today. Forget the news, because it's the second time. It went over the 1 hour clouds once, then it pushed from 24 to 27. This is the second time it went over the 1 hour clouds, and you can see that this time it went to $30 once the 1 hour cloud comes. Of course, there was news, but we already were making money in the pre-market, in the market hours, you can see there. And I did put out my 1 hour analysis, everything here. You can see that why only risk is DOJ investigation, because that's the only overhang. Otherwise, a lot of bullish things happening on SMCI, so that was good long. We'll see how it does tomorrow. Holding a little bit. I've got lucky in the after hours, but I wish we had held my better average. But this red candle spooked a lot of us out, because somebody knew that there's going to be a filing, but nobody knew what it's exactly about. So anyways, SMCI paid us well. Don't worry if you locked your profit and missed this run. That's fine. You respected your risk. We'll see what happens tomorrow. All right. So let's look at some of our MTF Clouds, specific MTF Clouds trade here. So let's look at MBLY. So you see what's happening here on MBLY. So let's go back. The plan on MBLY was Trump team using self-driving rules. Long if MTF holds, 1570 was the lower level. And you see where it's bouncing from, right from that level, right from the MTF Clouds. So that's why the MTF Clouds provides you a very high, consistent, high probability trades. From that bounce, it kept on to push towards 17 right now. There's another example of, our MTF Cloud trades that we had on Gameplan. Let's look at that. That was CVS, bullish to neutral bias. But you see, once it pushes over the MTF Cloud, that's a long, and it was another, a couple bucks long in the community with MTF Clouds long. So that's what MTF Clouds provides you. It provides you, especially if there's news and catalyst, it provides you a big level on 1 hour 3450 EMAs. Of course, you don't just blindly follow the clouds. You also have to use your support levels, right? What are the support levels? We are breaking pre-market high. This here, we are making pre-market level again there. So another example of MTF Cloud trade in the community was Hood. Let's see what was our game plan on the Hood in the pre-market. So the game plan on the Hood in the pre-market was, let's see, trade versus MTF. That's what I told everybody, 30 to 30, 30 to 90, two levels, trade versus MTF. And you can see that Hood bounced from MTF, reclaimed clouds, went 3450. And a lot of my traders don't even wait on me, because we do it every day. It's a repeatable system. Somebody likes Hood, he trades Hood. We like Tesla, I'd trade Tesla. I like PLTR short, I trade PLTR. But the point is, the system tells you, and that's what we try to do. Our focus in our community is not just create sheep who are buying and selling on the alerts. Our focus is to make people self-dependent with these high probability trading system that I've been teaching for so long, and it's been working. So anyways, that was Hood. You see the power of the MTF Clouds. All right, let's look at MSTR. So MSTR was on a game plan. This morning, like I said, one of our my team members was out. We could not create the levels, but you can see MSTR was in a game plan. They bought more Bitcoin, and that was it's again bouncing over MTF. Right, so that's your risk. You put your stops under there, you long it. I was on voice, I talked about MTF, and just hold it, right? Just hold it, let it work out. It's on the game plan, it has a news. There's your MTF Clouds to risk. If you add 344, your stops are like $5-6 because you are trying to make $20. So that's 1 risk to 4 reward trade is fine. So that's how you trade. So anyways, that was MSTR. All right, let's look at another one today. That was Lily. Lily was initially short. Let's look at the game plan. What was our game plan on Lily? So Lily game plan was bearish bias. So far, we will watch the 512 call, 735, 746. So bearish bias, as soon as it opened, it was a short. On Lily, we were short, heavy short right at the open, where target was 700. But then I saw a buyer coming at 710 and started to bouncing, and it started to push. But it never really gave us a call. You see this? Failed. And I didn't even think of longing it until we hit right here. That's when I told everybody, do the 512 calls, use the stops under 717. And my alerts on Lily were going much earlier at 719, 720. And that's where we longed, and we almost got $9 per share. Now we are swinging some of this Lily. Really like it on the daily chart. The reason I like it, because 700 is a defined risk. A lot of support down there. If it breaks 700, hopefully it holds 710, then we will exit. I mean, it can very well break the clouds and come back. Then we would have to watch. But so far, it worked out pretty well for us today. So you see the levels, the system. Always look at your daily charts. I do not trade without daily charts. I'm not showing you here, but I always look at my daily charts. Always look at my daily charts. All right, next one we're going to look at is Amazon. So Amazon was a short all day. It was showing a relative weakness. Good, because reason being, it could never get over this area, right? Never get over this area. That was a pre-market highs. It could never get over that. It was always a relative weakness. I mentioned the relative weakness at 1055 because most of the market is going up, and Amazon can't even break the pre-market high. So that was bearish, right? So I told everybody, do not try to dip buy. Let it fade. 200 is your level to watch. And since I mentioned it, continued to fade. Even when I mentioned it 202, it faded towards 201, and then it bounced. Just need to understand, there's no long here. There's a long here. There's a long here, but there's no long here. The system tells you, look at the Ripster clouds, look at the Ripster labels, see where the clouds are, where the 1 hour clouds are, where the MTF clouds are. Understand the trend, and half of your task is done. So let's look at Taiwan Semi. So Taiwan Semi was a long in the morning for us at 10 a.m. It was a 10:05. Again, 10 a.m. trade. It was a 3450 call long. Let's see if was it on our game plan or not. Let's see. So Taiwan Semi, trade with Semi is bearish so far. It was on our game plan. It had a price target increase. So we know there's a catalyst. It can move. So once there was a 3450 calls, you put your stops on the low of that candle and you long it. And then from 184s, 185s, it pushed all the way to 187.27, hit our MTF target. Sadly, it broke the 512s and we had to exit, but it did reclaim and continue to push higher. I do like it to swing as well, but we're already swinging SOXL, so we'll see how that goes. So let's look at FUTU. FUTU was a long for us this morning. It pulled back. Let's see. The stops were at 90. It was on our game plan. Let's look at game plan. FUTU, bullish bias to long. Strong in pre-market, 1 hour cloud bullish. Morgan Stanley gave it an upgrade. You see the MTF clouds again right here, right? So you see that MTF, 1 hour MTF, that's why it was bullish. Pulled back. 3450 calls with the MTF risk. That's why I gave 90 stops, even though 90.60 was a better level. That was the level you see in my game plan right here. And from that midday, it's a 10 a.m. 3450 call repeatable setup. You get a nice couple of dollars there on FUTU. So FUTU was a nice trade there as well for us. Let's look at loser trade this morning. Also like this stock long term, but it didn't show us a strength. It was doing a 512 curls over 50. We tried to long it, and then it broke 34.50. So that was a stop out, and that was a losing idea. I did mention everyone that we can long it over 512s, 50 cycle level, but 50 failed, so you had to stop out. So that was a loser in the community. Let's look at 4, FUTU. So 4, what was the game plan on 4 today? 4 was added to S&P Midcap 400. That's not a big deal. The gap fill under 512 or 101, long over that. So 512s. So where did 512s break? Right here. So it's a short right here. Right? Short right here. And then broke 34.50, hit the MTF targets. From 102, 102.50 goes a nice short, and then of course when it bounces you get out there. So there was the stops at 102. Once it reclaims, you get out. So that was definitely a good short as well with the system. Let's look at some other names today. LYFT was there, and there was Uber, which were morning shorts, even though we were watching for the calls, but it never confirmed the calls. This is one of our repeatable short setups that I teach in my webinars, how to do the entry exits there. You can see LYFT, news based on Tesla, Uber based on Tesla, trade Uber trade versus 1 hour MTF, LYFT watch the 512s. So Uber failed to get over MTF, 1 hour MTF clouds. Another short with the MTFs, the short from 71, 72, you could short here at 71 level as well. And nice $3 fade on LYFT and Uber. Both short, I mentioned that as well. And they were, I told everybody to cover into 10 a.m. Uber faded much more. LYFT, although LYFT kind of stalled in a bit, but was definitely a great trade with the MTF clouds with Uber. So that was it, guys. We are doing some swings. I'm not going to recap them today. We'll recap later. AMD was a nice long intraday as well, and SOXL. But this is all for today. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.